Today is the advisors meeting for Human Plus, sort of kickoff meeting, and we brought in people from MIT, from DARPA, from UPenn and Carnegie Mellon, who are technologists who work in the field of human technology and human enhancement.
Two big questions. One is the sort of main messages. What are some main messages that we would want people to leave the exhibit thinking about, talking about? And the second was this issue of timelessness and remaining relevant for the 10-year tour of this exhibit.
So there's educators, there's exhibit developers, there's evaluators, there's technologists and scientists with expertise in the field, and there are other museum people here, and all of our partners are here, all the core team who are actually working on the exhibit together. So this is the first time we've all been together.
The questions too about the creating technology that people will use, that's attractive and fun, and like that little boy who wouldn't do his therapy but would when it was a game.
And one of the things that we started to do was to talk about an asset model of disability rather than a deficit model of disability.
To me, it keeps coming back to the question, what are we norming it against? And that gets sort of this. What are we norming it against to say it's enhanced?
This morning we spent talking about each person gave a presentation, talking about their expertise, a lot of questions going back and forth, and this afternoon we're breaking out into groups in order to try to plumb the themes of the exhibition a little bit more deeply.
This language component is something that a 5-year-old's not going to relate to at all. They're not going to care. They're going to use the shortest term language to get to it.
If I was an 8-year-old boy going to the exhibit, I would think of comic books and superpowers, and only because of, obviously there's a few reasons: child cartoons, He-Man, all that great stuff. But there was a toy design exhibit session I was part of, and the first assignment we had was to make ourselves a super. Another group did augmented hearing, so they could hear the strangest noises that were across the room, so super hearing. And so superpowers, enhanced powers, comic books are all revolving around that kind of element of playful power in a way.
Like the standard medieval catapult.
Right.
Because it's the idea that you can have some low power actuator that stores up a lot of energy and then releases it suddenly.
Right. And the engineering process is more important than the actual...
Right, that's right. So how do you break the problem apart into the problem?
And those are the kinds of things we need to say. And what are the stereotypes that surround the language that we choose?
In the process of developing this exhibition, are there distinctions that the visitor requires to be able to kind of enter into the experience of what we hope to achieve in the space? So if they're choosing to use the word blind over non-sighted, is it going to make any darn difference? Or does it? And I don't know.
So I find with members and people in our family who are losing abilities, there's this barrier to using technology where that's like admitting, it's like saying I have to use a walker now, or I have to use a wheelchair now, and I don't want to be identified with that. And I guess that to me feels like is that a negative perception we all carry around with us?
Even to the point of in the street, a kid will say, why does she have that stick? And the adult will say, shh. And when I say to them, I know I'm blind. But, to use those euphemisms, I guess, is really what I find. We want to teach people that people with disabilities, whatever they are and however we call them, have skills and attributes that allow them to leave their daily lives just like the rest of the world.
I explain it this way. There's nothing wrong with the top shelf at the supermarket or with my height. But when those two things come together, this doesn't work. So what Tom Shakespeare always says is, there is something different, what you're saying. There's something fundamentally different about people, who have inabilities to do certain things. And yet, that is never the problem in and of itself. It's in the negotiation with the world that they run up against, and that's where all humans choose tools. You know, I mean, because we're not good at ripping wood apart, so we have saws. And our hands make bad hammers, so we have hammers. You know, we have all those things. So because one of the things that, especially in the United States, which has this, or in North America, put it this way, where we have this total tradition of the medical model of disability, I think we have to take people from that to someplace they can find. Because to jump them to the European vision that this is purely an identity that you choose is a huge leap, right? It's a ways to go.
Human Plus is an exhibition that we're developing. That'll be a traveling exhibition that will open in 2013. And the intent of the exhibition is to explore the way technology enhances people's abilities, whether you have a disability or whether you don't. And there's lots of cutting-edge science in it, but it has a very sort of core human focus to it, which is, you know, these great stories of people who were able to do things they weren't able to do. You know, I mean, literally, you have the blind seeing, the deaf hearing, and the halt walking. And that's really how the technology is evolving. So from the point of view of deficits, there's a lot that's being done. And then from the point of view of people with normal capabilities, or what you call normal capabilities, I can hardly see you now because I've taken off my glasses, and now with my new prosthetics I can see better. So everybody uses prosthetics, and we want to make sure that it's understood as a common vocabulary as opposed to something that just people with disabilities use.